Today, we need to have a chat about these: the CCS to NACS adapter, as well as the J1772 to NACS adapter, which are supposed to come with select Hyundai and Kia EVs made in 2025 and newer. And the problem I want to discuss is the fact that people are taking delivery of new cars that are supposed to have these, and they don't. So let's start with Hyundai. If you bought a 2025 or 2026 Ioniq 5 or 2026 Ioniq 9, you should be receiving both of these adapters with your car from the time you pick it up at the dealership. If you bought or are going to buy a 2025 Kia EV6, Kia skimps out and they're only giving you the cheap J1772 to NACS adapter. This is the expensive one that can cost upwards of $200 that Kia just doesn't want to give you, even though they switched to the NACS charging standard for 2025. But if you buy a 2026 Kia EV9 with a NACS port, then you should be getting both of these. So really the only customer that's getting screwed here is EV6 customers who are already paying a premium for the EV6 versus the comparable 2026 Ioniq 5. So a couple weeks ago, I decided to take a poll on my Facebook group as well as the community section here on YouTube. On Facebook, 1 in 10 customers are not getting these adapters, and on YouTube, it was 1 in 5. So we'll say that about 15% of people who buy these cars are not getting the adapters that they were promised. Now, I'm going to put up some screenshots now that you guys can take to your dealership if you haven't received these adapters with your car to prove that it's supposed to have them. So here's a screenshot from Hyundai's website for the 2026 Ioniq 5, and it says charge 10 to 80% in as little as 20 minutes using the included CCS adapter. So it says included CCS adapter, and over on the Ioniq 9's page, it says the same thing. Save time with 350 kilowatt DC ultra-fast public chargers using the CCS adapter that comes with your Ioniq 9. Now for Kia, I haven't seen anything directly on their website, but if you look at the window stickers, here's one for the 2025 EV6 because the 2026 EV6 still isn't on sale. There is no mention of an adapter here, but if you do look at the 2026 Kia EV9's window sticker, it does say NACS charge port DC adapter included. Now over on the Genesis side of things, for the 2026 Genesis GV60, which does have a NACS charging port, I'm not seeing anything that specifically says it should be getting an adapter, but considering this is a luxury brand, I have to assume that it's going to come with the adapters. I haven't been to a dealership to check or anything, so maybe if you've bought a 2026 Genesis GV60, you can let me know down in the comment section. So those are the things that you guys need to keep in mind and look out for when you pick up one of these cars new. Just make sure you're getting the adapters that you are promised. Sometimes they're really well hidden in the car. So in the back of the Ioniq 5, you have the false floor that you can pull up. Some people have found them buried in the deep back part there near the rear seats. Some people have found them in the front trunks. With the Ioniq 9, sometimes they're placed in the big bundle with the charging cable and V2L adapter and those kind of things. So sometimes you really have to do your due diligence and look for it. I've also heard from some other people that the dealerships take these out of the car, use them on their chargers at their facilities to charge your new car, and then forget to put them back in the car, and then you just go on your way and you don't have them. So before you leave the lot, double check that you have them. If you don't see it, look around, and if you don't see it in the car anywhere, ask them to double check their charger. And then if it's still not found, you need to demand that they give you the adapters, whether it be them buying it on their own dime, tell them to go get them from a different car that's sitting on their lot, them contacting Hyundai corporate to get you the adapters. So I know some of you aren't going to want to put up a fight with the dealership. So if that's the case with you, you have some aftermarket options. So the first is going to be the A to Z Thunderstorm plug. It's UL2252 rated. It's CSA tested. So it's a safe device. You can have faith that this is going to work for you, not damage your car. It's rated for 1,000 volts, 500 amps, so up to 500 kilowatts with a high voltage car. So more than enough for a Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis EV. You can buy this on A to Z EVshop.com for about $130. There's all sorts of coupon codes. If you use the code IONICGUY at checkout, you'll get an additional 5% off. So it'll be around $120 probably with all your discount codes. And the other option that I recommend is going to be from Lectron. This is their CCS to NACS adapter. You guys might remember I mentioned this in my 2020 2025 Kia EV6 review video, I charged the car using Lectron's old adapter, which I found out after the fact was only rated for 500 volts. So this is their new high voltage version, which is specifically designed for our cars. So if you happen to run across that one, don't buy it. It's lower priced because it is a lower voltage device. So right now on Amazon, it's going for $122 versus this adapter is right now running for $190. So the Lectron runs a little bit more of a premium versus the A to Z. If it were my decision to make though, I would probably go for the Lectron. It seems more compact and I just overall like the aesthetic of it more versus the A to Z. The Lectron doesn't have any exposed fasteners, while the A to Z does have these screw holes on this side, and then there's a little rubber bung that fills that hole. I don't really like the way that looks. This is much chunkier. If you put them side by side, you can see the A to Z is probably 3/4 of an inch taller than the Lectron. Let me just throw these on my scale here real quick and see if there's a weight difference. The Lectron, 26.1 ounces. The A to Z, 30.4 ounces. So the Lectron is about 4 ounces lighter than the A to Z, so that's another plus for the Lectron. But again, you're going to pay about a $60 premium for the Lectron. And let's say you didn't get this adapter either. I would recommend Lectron's J1772 to NACS adapter. Right now it's available on Amazon for $40. There's a 10% discount code, so about $36 all in. Now, driving one of these NACS cars means having to store these adapters in your car so you can use all the CCS chargers out in the world. And one of the first things that drove me crazy when I got my 2025 Ioniq 5 was where to store them, because on my drive back from Colorado, I had both of these adapters just kind of in the center console area, and they were rattling around, hitting each other, making all sorts of noise. Drove me crazy. So the first thing I did when I got back to Boston was I designed a little caddy for the adapter. So right here, you can just drop that adapter in. You can drop your J1772 adapter in, and they're not going to rattle around. They're not going to make any noise. This one right here does not have any double-sided tape on the bottom because this is designed for the center console. In the center console, you have that kind of rubber tray in there, so the weight of this is enough to just keep them sitting there in place. It's not going to move around or anything. I also have a version specifically for the trunk that has double-sided 3M VHB tape on the bottom, so you could adhere it to the little plastic side panel in your trunk area if that's where you choose to keep them. If you would prefer to keep them in the glove box, which is where I personally keep mine, I also have a glove box version, so you can just take the adapter, it slips right in there, and then you put your J1772 next to it if you want to, and these just kind of fit perfectly in the glove box. And what I like about that location is it's behind a closed door, so it's going to be safe in there. It's not going to get on the ground and get anything in the charging pins or anything. And in that regard, I also sell caps for it. So there's a cap for the NACS side. There's a cap for the J1772 side. I also sell a version where the caps are attached to the body of the holder itself, so they're going to always be there. You're not going to potentially drop this and lose it or something. And those of you who bought the Lectron or A to Z, have no fear. I also designed one specifically for those adapters. So this one's dual purpose. The Lectron fits in it, doesn't move around or anything, and the A to Z also fits in it and doesn't move around and rattle. And all those dust cover options are available for this one as well. So all of these can be had on my Etsy shop or my website, www.ioniqguy.com. I've got all sorts of other cool stuff there. I'm always adding new products. Another new addition is this magnetic chapstick holder, which you can put on the little magnetic area next to the driver display in the Ioniq 5 or Kona Electric or whatever. But again, those are all available at ioniqguy.com. And while I have you guys, I might as well mention this because I still see this issue all the time. This adapter is only for DC fast charging. Do not go plugging a level 2 charger into the CCS adapter because that is not what this is designed for. This adapter is only for DC fast charging. If you need the level 2 charge, the small adapter is the one that you want to use with that level 2 charger. So if you've bought an Ioniq 5, an Ioniq 9, or an EV9 recently, please make sure you're getting your adapters and do your damnedest to get them from the dealership. So I think that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to put that out there, let you guys know that you should be getting these adapters. So if you guys like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Check out my store at ioniqguy.com for accessories for your Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis EV, including all the adapter holders I just discussed. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.